Today we are reviewing Kingdoms of Death by Christopher Ruocchio, and if you haven't started this series yet, this probably isn't the video you should start on, because this is book 4. I've done all the reviews for all the other ones, so start with this one. But you would not understand also how devastating this book is. 2 chapters were just killed me, and I was sitting there the whole time like, no, not gonna happen. It's not that, he's not gonna go there. It's like, okay, I mean, I understand maybe one person, okay, but he went there, like, he went there. Hello and welcome if you have not been here before. I'm Morgan, and I'm going to try to not do spoilers. I do have a section in my notes that says half spoilers, so it's like teasy things that I just have to get out, but I'm gonna try so hard not to do spoilers because you just need to experience it. If there are odd noises, the cat is wandering around doing things. As I said, if you haven't read any of the Senator books, I really recommend though going back to the first one and starting there. But all of the series is following Lord Hadrian Marlowe being told by his future self of all of his exploits in his life, from leaving his home planet of Delos to becoming known as the Sun Eater because of an event that he does that changes history. I'm just gonna say, it changes history. It changes the course of human in space history and complete devastation. And he's now kind of actually a pariah. He was a hero. So that's what the Sun Eater is. It's following Lord Hadrian Marlowe as human civilization is in space. We've been in space for 20,000 years, I think. I don't know. And we're currently at war with another alien species that is intelligent and spacefaring as well, called the Cielsen. And we have been at war with them for almost 1,000 years at this point. So a very long time. And they eat people. They will resort to eating their own as well, if necessary. So kind of cannibalism, but they just eat people. They see us, though, not as a high enough species like they are. Hadrian's whole purpose at the beginning of the series was he wanted to broker peace because he just believed we were not understanding each other. And through the series, you were gradually seeing this disillusion, the realization that there could never be peace. And in this one, you were given another look at this aspect and why the war is taking place, and Hadrian's even deeper realization, while at the same time making you question, could there have been a way? At least I did, because you do find one that is so educated in our own ways, and he makes comparisons, and it just almost makes you think, if only he wasn't so crazy, that maybe if this one was the one that we could have initially had peace talks with, if this one, you know, he knows so much about our ways and comparisons could be drawn, and sure, we don't agree with that, but like, and the fact that you eat us, we don't agree with that. Could an agreement be forged? Could more understandings? But, you know, it is hard to make understandings with crazy. I'm getting off topic now. Okay. Our world building throughout the whole series has been phenomenal. I mean, we are in space, so it would make sense that we should have this big scale thing. And he has done it spectacularly. In this one, whereas in the last one we were given a view, well, more of a glimpse of the wider universe, that there is life outside in the universe that is massive and horrible, even more so than the Cielsen threat within our own galaxy, because everything is actually taking place in the Milky Way galaxy. We have not gone past our own galaxy, though it takes, you know, decades, hundreds of years to travel between the solar systems as it is, so that's probably why. How scientists have not wanted to go further, though, I do question. Never mind, I don't. The Chantry, never mind. But in this one, we are given a better view of our own galaxy again, and just an expansion of the world building within our own galaxy. We have been told before that the Solan Empire is where everything is pretty much taking place, is the dominant government of the galaxy. There are others, though. We have been told about the Jadian princes, the Dorantine Republic? Is that what it's called? Still haven't seen that one come up much. Tavros? That's just a planet, though. Not entirely sure. And the Lotharian Commonwealth. Hopefully I said that right. We get to go see the Commonwealth in this one. We get to spend a lot of time in the Commonwealth and see that their type of government, because each of these places is kind of a bit different. And it is super interesting, to me at least, seeing Valka's perspective, as she is always called the Solan Empire barbarians, of how they do things, emperors, and the different castes of peoples and how they treat their peoples, the fact that they have slaves, and seeing her take and Hadrian's take as they are slightly different, but they're both looking at the people of the Commonwealth and thinking, this is horrible. Because the Commonwealth is very socialist. They have abolished the words like I and me, those things. They actually don't even allow free speech, like in any form. You have prescribed safe phrases. Pretty much all of them have been written in the book, the Lothriad, and you just are quoting this book. We will move on from that. Besides the fact that you are treated to this whole other view of government and politics and humanity within a different section of our galaxy in the Commonwealth, we will also be treated to a whole new view of the Cielsen and how their stuff works and the inner workings of things. And oh my gosh, it's just, we get the origins. We get the Cielsen origins. Not the full picture, but a really good picture. The big players of this book. Our main character is, of course, Hadrian, and it is all still told from his perspective. The interjections, though, of future Hadrian, who is writing all of this, is very minimal in this book. Like, book 3, there was so much. And, like, so much foreshadow. It's not even foreshadowing, though, when it's his future point of view, kind of telling you things, like... It was very minimal in this. It came in more a good bit towards the end. But throughout the meaty chunks of the story, I found it to be much less than book 3. So Hadrian, of course, main character, big perspective, everything that happens with him, and his much older. I think he says he's 350 standard now, but I don't remember him ever particularly mentioning how much of that is waking. Maybe that was waking, not on ice. But Hadrian, after the events of book 3, has kind of been in exile for the past 70 years on Nessus, where he has to serve the Arch Magnus? That's not right. But he has to serve under somebody to keep him out of the public eye, and he's pretty much been trapped on the planet until the events right at the beginning of the book, when they needed him and his red team. Red Crew. The Red Company themselves, while you don't see them quite as much, they play such a big impact on the story. Such a big emotional impact. Our other, though, feel like really big character that brings out so much of this story is the prophet, Siriani Doriaika, the Cielsen prophet, the one who has also been granted a vision of the future. Particularly Hadrian, you know, where he always sees himself marching over the Black Sands. It is mentioned specifically that Hadrian looks at him and knows that Siriani saw this too. This is the one that I was like, if anybody could be maybe talked to try to reach common grounds, it could be this one. However, he's a zealot crazy who believes he will become a god. Because he's a prophet. And he's like, I'm going to become a god. However, Siriani has been trained somehow. Siriani has learned the standard language, has learned all of our history. Like, he specifically studied deep into our history to learn about the empire and the governments and Earth that we came from. And he was actually very disappointed in Hadrian that Hadrian did not know as much about the Cielsen. The plot itself follows, as I've already said, from Nexus 70 years after the end of the 3rd book. Hadrian has, at the beginning, been sent out to do a specific task with the Red Company because they were losing a very important planet. And he accomplishes this, he comes back to Nexus, and the Emperor visits and sends him on a diplomatic mission to the Lothrian Commonwealth because the Empire would like an ally in the Cielsen War. Of course, they are kind of allies with the Jadians, but so far they have not committed any forces. If they could get the Commonwealth, though, to also commit forces, then maybe the Jadian princes would. Because right now it sounds like it's mostly just the Empire's forces, holding back the Sealson, and as we've seen in the other books, they're not doing very well. But the Empire is kind of the front line, with everything else being not quite as accessible to the Sealson, so far as we have seen, or no. And when Hadrian gets there, things are very not what they seem. Things don't go well with his political negotiations, and this book follows a lot of Hadrian there on, I said the name earlier, oh my gosh, it's gone. The capital planet though, Padmarac, and even so far as something has happened and now he is... So that was the plot of this one. That's all I can give you, spoiler free. That is it. We will have to do half spoilers because I just must say things. I must. Okay, so if you do not want to see the half spoilery, teasery things, you may exit the video now. You may mute it and keep it playing for time, you know. Or you can just jump forward. Timestamp, of course, will be provided to where you can just jump forward to the last ending thoughts. As it was mentioned in one of the other books, I believe, when humanity got to the stars and finding such a lack of other intelligent, of course, this only helped our belief that the universe was made for us. We were meant to have it because we are mostly the only intelligent things that we have found until we found the Sealson. There is a reason for that. There is a reason, and it's not actually the Sealson's fault, though the Sealson are continuing the work of these beings. They were known as the Aeon. And they are kind of the ones that gave the Sealson everything. No, well, not them. Kind of them. A little bit them. Also, there is a comment that the Sealson are not just raiding with us. They sit on the other end of the galaxy. There's something else. They mentioned another name, though that's, never really thought of much after that, sadly. One of the things I talked about in the reading vlog is my thought process about the Red Company, and what Hadrian had been told is maybe this isn't the truth. Maybe they just want to say this to break him down more, to make it easier to break him, because there has been no evidence provided, and there has been actually a discrepancy of what two Pacific people have said that's okay, I have hope. I have hope, which is awful. While Hadrian had no hope. He just eventually, believed it. He's like, this happened. This is, why am I still here? Why I'm still alive? What is the purpose of me? So Hadrian had no hope. But I had hope. And I'm and it just got dashed. And he specifically wrote it this way, I believe, to have you with this hopeful thing, okay, at the end, we're gonna have something, because we know Hadrian lives. So we know that something will come about, and that these specific people's something, it was that much more devastating. Legit, after chapter 43, crying, bawling, could not. The end of the book, also sad, but a different kind of sad, a more acceptable kind of sad in a way. Still sad, but more understandable and acceptable. I'm gonna stop the review now before I talk about spoilers, and I don't want to, and I do want to, and oh my god, just read the books. These are amazing. This is quickly working its way up as one of my top series, for sure. Pick it up, the whole series, the whole series, just yes. If you want to see my reactions to reading it, though, I did vlog most of it, part of it, in the Magical Readathon vlog. If you're interested in that, I've been doing the reviews for all of these, and we'll do the next few as well. Vlog the reaction as I'm reading those. It was mostly spoiler free for this vlog, though, since it's more of a Magical Readathon vlog. But if you're enjoying my content, please subscribe, stick around, leave comments down below to talk about the books, or in Discord. I hope you're having an awesome day and finding something great to read, like this one.